Okay, so I think we are done now. We are online on YouTube as well. So I think these things will now keep happening. Sometimes, the technical break we have to take. Okay, so I think we are done now. We are online on YouTube as well. So I think these things will now keep happening. Sometimes, the technical break we have to take. Can hear myself here. Okay. Okay. Let's start. Okay. So this chapter 11, the killing of demons, Vatsasur and Bakasur. This is only just the whole of this pastime of killing Bakasur and Vatsasur. It's the very end of this chapter. But in the beginning of the chapter, uh, uh, the uh, the story of fruits vendor and the how Krishna related, or know how Krishna responded to her, devotional service of giving fruits to Krishna, that we discussed last Saturday. Again, one of the very wonderful story where we can, learn so many lessons of how to serve Krishna. And then after that one, there is a description of Krishna playing, how they played with his friends, and then the story of Nanda Baba and all the Vrajbasis decided to move from Gokul to Vrindavan. Krishna and their family, Krishna Balaram and the family and all the Vrajbasis, they're living in a place called Gokul. And then they moved to a place called Vrindavan. Now the whole area of it is called Mathura Mandal. It is so-called Braj or Vrajdham. This is the whole area. And within that area, there are various villages are there, or various places of living. So Krishna was living, if you all remember, he was born in the city of Mathura, the prison house of Kamsa. Then, his father, Vasudev, he took him from Mathura to Gokul. And then Krishna spent few years in Gokul. And then his family, Nanda Baba and Yashoda, and all the Vrajbasis decided this is not a safe place to live because so many demons are coming and disturbing us. So let's move to a safer place. So that description is given, how they moved and what was their consideration of moving out of Vrindavan. And then there is a story of how Krishna, they were so nicely playing with cows. I don't know how I'm pronouncing properly. Calves, CLVS, or calf, the baby cows. How Krishna, he was given in charge of, looking after the calves. So he would go, in the pastures with his friends, and and tend to them. And this is the reason, our meditation today was this particular picture of Krishna. He is how he is so much dear to cows, and cows are so dear to Krishna. So again, time to time, we'll show this picture again. And then there's a story of killing of Bakasura and Vatsasura right at the end. So I think for this one, we today will try to read this particular story from the book only. And then on the way, we will discuss few things, some lessons that we can learn from this book. Okay, this is again a very nice section. Let me share this with you, this story and then we can all read it together. Okay, and if you like to read this this particular passage.
I'll do it, Rohiji.
Yes, Ajay, please go ahead.
One day, Lord Krishna, the liberator of the twin Arjuna trees, was playing with Balarama and the other children on the bank of the Yamuna, and because it was already late in the morning, Rohini, the mother of Balarama, went to call them back home. But Balarama and Krishna were so engrossed in playing with their friends that they did not wish to go back. They just engaged themselves in playing more and more. When Rohini was unable to take them back home, she went home and sent Mother Yashoda to call them again. Mother Yashoda was so affectionate towards her son that as soon as she came out to call him back home, her breasts filled up with milk. She loudly cried, "My dear child, please come back home. Your time for lunch is already past." She then said, "My dear Krishna, oh my dear lotus-eyed child, please come and suck my breast. You have played enough. You must be hungry, my dear little child. You must be tired from playing for so long." She also addressed Balrama thus, "My dear Rama, the glory of your family, my dear child, please come back with your younger brother Krishna immediately. You have been engaged in playing since early morning, and you must be very tired. Please come back and take your lunch at home. Your father, Nandaraja, is waiting for you. He has to eat, so you must come back so that he can eat." As soon as Krishna and Balrama heard that Nanda Maharaj was waiting for them and could not take his food in their absence, they started to return. Their playmates complained, "Krishna is leaving us just at a point when our playing is at the summit. Next time we shall not allow him to leave." His playmates then threatened not to allow him to play with them again. Krishna became afraid, and instead of going back home, he went back again to play with the boys. At that time, Mother Yashoda scolded the children and told Krishna, "My dear Krishna, do you think that you are a street boy? You have no home? Please come back to your home. I see that your body has become very dirty from playing since early morning. Now come home and take your bath. Besides, today is your birthday ceremony. Therefore, you should come back home and give cows in charity to the Brahmanas. Don't you see how your playmates are decorated with ornaments by the mothers? You should also be cleansed and decorated with nice dress and ornaments. Please, therefore, come back, take your bath, dress yourself nicely, and then again you may go on playing." In this way, Mother Yashoda called back Lord Krishna and Balarama, who are worshipable by great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. She was thinking of them as her children. When Mother Yashoda's children, Krishna and Balarama, came home, she bathed them very nicely and dressed them with ornaments. She then called for the Brahmanas, and through her children, she gave many cows in charity for the occasion of Krishna's birthday. In this way, she performed the birthday ceremony of Krishna at home.
Ajit will stop here.
Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ajit. Thank you. So, thank you very much, Ajit. So, this particular section of this chapter, we get little glimpse of the life in Vrindavan. The how the families how they lived, uh, and, and this is the opulence of Vrindavan. Uh, Here in the story, where Shukdev Goswami, actually these are the story Shukdev Goswami narrates in a shlok, very nice, sweet shloks in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then how Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini, they are calling Krishna. Krishna is playing, and then they return back home, and then the Krishna's friends complaining, Krishna, we are not you're just living the game, while the game is right at the peak, and this is it disturbs all our enjoyment. So Everybody in their life, the center is Krishna. The children, the animals, the cows, and the parents, and all that center is Krishna. Hmm? And then we see here, the such a wonderful relationship with all the devotees there, who are connected, keeping Krishna in the center. That Krishna, the child, he's child, and child likes to play with his playmates. And what kind of games, and the how they played with each other, they will get so many things, as we cross these chapters, what kind of games they are playing, and how wonderful they are enjoying their life. So one thing, that we learn from, for practical terms from this chapter, is that the children, they should be uh, close to nature as much as possible. We see here, children, Krishna is maybe 2 or 3 years old. He's still drinking the milk of his mother. He's a very small child. And what is he playing with? He's playing with, his friends in the out, in the dust of Vrindavan. And everybody is happy. And then the children, they also get to, have developed the relationship with his peers. And nowadays, what we see, right from the, very young, very small age, children are given so many gadgets. They hardly go out. And then even if they go out, it's not really very close to the nature. But these how, the children should be raised. That is very close to the nature. That they should be playing with you know, the elements of the nature, in the dust. Nowadays, the parents are afraid, all the bacteria and germs, but actually, uh, in a way, they improve the immune system of the children. But if they're always, very protected, and, there's a word called, they're always covered in a cotton wool, uh, uh, no such uh, exposure to the natural world, then the growth is kind of, subdued. So this is the one lesson we learn, that children should be playing in the nature with their friends, rather than, the artificial things that they do, like one of the big menaces is video games, right from the beginning, video games, the parents, they are busy with their things, immediately, children are given mobile phones, then they are small children, playing games on mobile phones. What kind of, development that they will have. So the children should be given the opportunity, to play with the nature. So here, the Krishna is playing games with his friends, and his mother comes. Actually, Balram's mother comes, Mother Rohini, and they're saying that, you please come, yeah. And then there's big description, that you please come. Your father is ready, and if you won't come, your father won't eat. And look, all other children are so very nicely dressed, and then they are also very clean, and you are not doing, and then, so again, here we see a natural affection for a mother. And you'll see, it is evident, sometimes when our children, they are, if you want to inspire them, they say, see, look, your friend, he's good, so good in study, you also should be like that. Look, he's your other friend, he's good in that one, you should be like that. So Mother Rohini, she's giving same examples. Actually, we give that example, it is all coming from her. Then Krishna, is still, is so engrossed in the game. Both Krishna and Balaram so engrossed in the game, and that also we see, when children are playing, come, have lunch, and then, oh, coming, and then for next half an hour they don't come. Again, mother goes and shout, and then finally they come. So here, Mother Rohini, she goes back and tells Mother Yashoda, no, they are not coming. What can I do? Then the Mother Yashoda comes. And then when she comes, she comes very angry, and then she really scolds them, very, heavy words. Uh, Let me just read what. She's saying. No, no. And then the mother Rohini, she's calling Krishna. Then Krishna and Balaram, they are ready to go. Uh, so yes, we should go. And then Krishna's friends are not happy. Says, Krishna, look, we are at the peak of our game. This is the best part of the game. Then you're leaving us. This is just ruins all our enjoyment. With this, so much fun we have with this game. And then they threaten Krishna. That Krishna, we won't play with you anymore because you leave the game in the middle. So when you come next time, you won't be part of our game. So look at the relationship of Krishna with his friends. Krishna is not playing like a supreme personality of Godhead. He's not saying, do you know who I am? I'm the supreme personality of Godhead. Everything, I'm the controller of everything. Here the word is used that he gets afraid. I'll just read what they're saying. As soon as Krishna and Balaram heard that Nanda Maharaj was waiting for them to and could not take his food in their absence, they started to return. Their playmates complained, Krishna is leaving us just at the point when our playing is at the summit. Next time, we shall not allow him to leave. His playmates then threatened not to allow him to play with them again. Krishna became afraid, and instead of going back home, he went back again to play with the boys. At that time, Mother Yashoda scolded the children and told Krishna. So Krishna goes back with this playing, with his playmates. And here the word is used, he becomes afraid. So there are two things we can learn here. That Krishna in Vrindavan, he's just friend. He's not supreme personality of Godhead. His relationship with all the devotees there is not on the level of supremacy and subordinate. Krishna is just busy exchanging love with his devotees. So he's he's playing with his playmates, his friends. And when his friends threaten Krishna, that next time we will not let you play with us, Krishna becomes afraid. So what does it mean? That Krishna also so much enjoys, playing with his playmates. Krishna is getting so much, pleasure being with his friends. So my dear friends, we were actually part of that game with Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. We were there with Krishna, serving him, and giving pleasure to Krishna. But I don't know what happened to us. We left that and came in this filthy place here in the material world. But there, Krishna is so much attached to his devotees, to his playmates. Again in Vrindavan, in Golok Vrindavan, everybody are very intimately connected with Krishna. And there is a variety of relationships. Here we're talking about Krishna's relationship with his friends, but Krishna has a personal relationship with every living entity there in Golok Vrindavan. And everybody is satisfied with Krishna. Even the small grass on the ground has a personal relationship with Krishna. A small bird on the tree has a personal relationship with Krishna. And then, the Krishna's, the friends, gopis, his cows, every living entity has a personal relationship with Krishna. And they are so content with their service to Krishna that they would not trade their position with anything else. In Vrindavan, one of the wonderful bird is called peacock. Peacock, has so many, pastimes with Krishna. Peacock would never say that, actually, let me become Gopi. And then I will have, nice pastime because gopis are so dear to Krishna. No, Peacock says, I'm completely happy in whatever service I'm doing. He does not want to trade his position or, of his service to Krishna with anything else. They are just happy serving Krishna in that way. So these boys here, then they are threatening Krishna. You can see here that Krishna actually is enjoying with them. And when says, Krishna, we cannot play with us next time, he becomes so afraid. And he goes when playing with them. Then no, I'll play with them. Please don't do that with me. And when that happens, Mother Yashoda, she comes on the scene. And then what does he say? At that time, Mother Yashoda scolded the children and told Krishna, my dear Krishna, do you think that you are a street boy? You have no home? Please come back to your home. I see that your body had become very dirty from playing since early morning. Now come home and take your bath. Besides, today is your birthday ceremony. Therefore, you should come back home and give cows in a charity to the Brahmanas. Don't you see how your playmates are decorated with ornaments by their mothers? You should also be cleansed and decorated with nice dress and ornaments. Please, therefore, come back, take your bath, dress yourself nicely, and then again you may go on playing. Uh, so here, Mother Yashoda, she is not like, very nice, goody, mother, says, oh, my dear child, says, Krishna, come. Do you think you're a street boy? So, here there are, there is no awe and reverence. Oh, you're a supreme personality of Godhead. Here she is, using very strong words for Krishna, that, you should come back. And then it so happened, I think that day it was Krishna's birthday. And she said, you should come back, decorate yourself, and then you should give charity to the Brahmanas. So many things are, waiting for you. And, you are just busy playing here. Uh, so again, this is this, the sweet, you know, pastimes happening in Vrindavan. Uh, in Vrindavan, life is never dull. Every second, every fraction of a second is full with the oceanic nectar of Krishna's pastimes. Uh, so we hear, in the in Srimad Bhagavatam, that earlier we narrated the story of Gajendra, and then his prayers, Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, Dhruv Maharaj's prayers, Kunti Maharani's prayers, and these prayers are glorifying the Lord in a wonderful way. My Lord, you are a supreme. You are the maintainer of everything. You look after your devotees so nicely. But here, Mother Yashoda, his scolding of Krishna, it is nowhere those prayers. But these are the words of his mother, giving so much pleasure to Krishna. Uh, so, it is said that Krishna, of course, when we offer prayers, in awe and reverence, he accepts that, and he reciprocates with those prayers. But we said that highest form of love is a spontaneous love for Krishna. That your heart is so much is engrossed and in tune with the devotional service that everything that you do is very spontaneous. So here Mother Yashoda, spontaneous love for Krishna. Said, my son, it is his birthday, and he should be behaving in a certain way. So she uses very strong words to Krishna. Please come, and then you have so many things to do. And then it says, in this way, Mother Yashoda called back Lord Krishna and Balram, who were worshipable by great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. She was thinking of them as her children. So Shukdev Goswami, in that particular shloka in Bhagavatam, he says, Krishna and Balram, they are worshipable by great sages, even to the level of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. But what happened? Just few minutes back, they were scolded by their mothers. Come back, you're behaving like a street children, and so so we can get little, actual position. But Krishna, even though they are scolded by their mothers, they're still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But with this particular instance, we see that actually uh, the the nature of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, that love of all the devotees have for Krishna, it is not on the level of awe and reverence, but a spontaneous love. And then that particular devotion service is called Braja Bhakti, or the devotion of Vrajbasi. Again, this devotion one cannot artificially imitate. Uh, with this has to be cultivated uh, in, a, in a gradual way. Hmm. If we just imitate these pastimes, like scolding Krishna, and they are called sahajiyas, we take it very cheaply. These pastimes, so it has to be gradual. So we as a devotee, we are in the process of a Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti means we follow rules and regulations. And when our devotion in that way, when it gets matured, then it turns into Raga Bhakti. Raga Bhakti is spontaneous love for Krishna. So the Bhakti that the Brajabasis have is Raga Bhakti, spontaneous. Uh, but we are on not that level. They are 100% purified devotees of the Lord. And when we have no contamination, then the Raga Bhakti takes place. Then we are situated in Raga Bhakti. Right now we follow Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay. And after this, there's a description of all the Brajbasis, Nanda Baba and his four brothers. They came together and they discussed that in this last few days, we have observed that many demons are coming and then they are disturbing the Vrindavan. And so many disturbances are coming, then the list that earlier Putana came, then the Sakatasu, then Trinavrat. And then they say immediately, just few days back, these two Arjuna trees, remember the story of Damodar, these two trees fell down. And he says, by the Lord's mercy, Krishna was somehow saved. But can you imagine that if they fallen on Krishna or other children, so this place is not good. Now we should go back, we should find another place where it is more safer. So they all unanimously decided that they should leave the Gokul and go to a place called Vrindavan. And then there is a description that Vrindavan, it has Jamna is there, and then Govardhan is there, and then we should be living there. So I'll just read that particular part. The description of Vrindavan. Yeah, it says, let us live. We have all been saved from different calamities by the grace of the Lord Hari. Now we should be cautious and leave this place and reside somewhere where we can live peacefully. I think that we should all go to the forest known as Vrindavan, where just now there are newly grown plants and herbs. It is very suitable for pasturing ground for our cows, and we and our families, the gopis with their children, can very peacefully live there. Near Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, which is very beautiful, and there are newly grown grass and fodder for animals, so there will be no difficulty in living there. I therefore suggest that we start immediately for that beautiful place, as there is no need to waste any more time. Let us prepare all our carts immediately, and if you like, let us go, keeping all the cows in front. On hearing the statement of Upananda, Upananda was the elder brother of Nanda Maharaj. All the cowherd men immediately agreed. Let us immediately go there. Everyone then loaded all their household furniture and utensils on the carts and prepared to go to Vrindavan. All the children, women, and all of the village were and all men of the village were arranged on the seats, and the cowherd men equipped themselves with cows and arrows to follow the carts. All the cows and bulls were placed in the front along with their cows, and the men with their bows and arrows surrounded the herds and carts and began to blow on their horns and bugles. In this way, with tumultuous sound, they started for Vrindavan. And who can describe the damsels of Vraja? They were all seated on the carts and were very beautifully dressed with ornaments and costly saris. They chanted the pastimes of child Krishna as usual. Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini were seated on a separate cart, and Krishna and Balram were seated on their laps. While Mother Rohini and Yashoda were riding on the cart, they talked to Krishna and Balram and feeding and feeling the pleasures of such talks. They looked very, very beautiful. In this way, after reaching Vrindavan, where everyone lives eternally, very peacefully and happily, they encircled Vrindavan, drew all the carts together in half circle, and in this way constructed a temporary residence. When Krishna and Balram saw the beautiful appearance of Vrindavan, Govardhan Hill, and the banks of the river Yamuna, they felt very happy. As they grew up, they began talking with their parents and others in childish language, and thus they have great pleasure to all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So this is the beautiful description of how they traveled. Traveled in a bullock cart, and the I'm just wondering why this description is given in this part of Bhagavatam. Uh, but can you just imagine? Uh, uh, this is the whole settled community with their uh, with their and the Vrajbasis, they are very opulent people. They are not poor people. Here it is mentioned, they wore their costly saris and they were very nicely decorated, so many ornaments. And when they were traveling, they were, the people with bow and arrows surrounding them because, they were very wealthy people. So at their life, they settled in Gokul, and then they decided, let's not stay here. Why? Because our Krishna is getting disturbed. This is not a good place. So Brajbasis, for the service of Krishna, for the protection of Krishna, they will do anything. So left their, their settled life in Gokul. They went to a new place called Vrindavan. And, this whole, transfer, what is the consideration? How we can serve Krishna better. And in our life also, we also, I was, I was, living in India and Mumbai, and I came here. My consideration was not that how I can improve my spiritual life, and that was not consideration. My consideration was how do I earn better? How do I get my job? How can I progress in my spiritual life? In a way, to support our, our material or financial life, we had to take those decisions. But if we want to follow the footsteps of Brajbasis, then our priority should always be that whatever decision I take, is it going to progress my spiritual life? Moving from one country to another country, or one city to another city, or one house to another house. The center should be Krishna. Will it help my Krishna consciousness? Will it help me coming more closer to Krishna? If that is a consideration, that decision is 100% going to be successful. So here Vrajbasis, they lived their settled life in Gokul and moved to Vrindavan. And that moving was not easy. Can you imagine? Nanda Baba had 900,000 cows. That's just him. He had four other brothers, altogether five brothers. They also had, similar number of cows. Just one family. Then there are, other cowherd men. And they were, equally opulent, if not less opulent than, Nanda Baba. So there are millions of cows. They are very wealthy people. To move from one place to another just for the safety of Krishna was not easy. They took their decision. No, let's go. This is for the protection of Krishna. So our decision should be based on uh, keeping Krishna in center. Anything which brings me closer to Krishna, that decision is best. But any decisions which has a potential to take me away from Krishna, that is wrong. That is always materially it might be beneficial, but spiritually it will not be so good decision. So this is the consideration of moving from Gokul to Vrindavan. And now you will see, Krishna's pastime goes to another level. Now he is near Vrindavan, near Gokul, sorry, near Govardhan. And then now his pastimes with the Govardhan will start. Lots of, uh, pastimes in the bank of Yamuna will start. And here we just touch one part. Krishna is just beginning to talk now. He's just a small baby. So far, he's not even, grown enough to talk. And now he's just beginning to talk in a very childish way. And now what happens with Krishna? What is happening? Once he reaches Vrindavan, what happens to him? So he is given the charge of being in charge of calves. I don't know how to pronounce it. Cows. It looks like, but CALVS, the baby cows. I'll share that paragraph again if anybody like to read that particular passage. Where is it? Sorry. Any volunteers for reading a couple of paragraphs?
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can start from here if you can see the screen.
Kahan se?
Yeah, soon Krishna and Balram had grown sufficiently to be
right. Okay, Guruji. Hare Krishna. Soon Krishna and Balarama had grown sufficiently to be given charge of the calves. Cowherd boys from the very beginning of the childhood are trained to take care of the cows, and their first responsibility is to take care of the little calves. So along with the other little covered boys, Krishna and Balarama went into the pasturing ground and took charge of the cows, and they were played with their playmates. While taking charge of the cows, sometimes the two brothers played on their flutes, and sometimes they played with the Amalaka fruits and bale fruit, just as small children play with the balls. Sometimes they danced and made tinkling sounds with their ankle bells. Sometimes they made themselves into bulls and cows by covering themselves with the blankets. The Krishna and Balarama played the two brothers also used to imitate sounds of bulls and cows and play into the like two bulls fighting. Sometimes they used to initiate the sounds of various animals and birds. In this way, they enjoyed their childhood pastimes apparently like ordinary mundane children. Once when Krishna and Balram were playing...
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah. So here, dear devotees, how Krishna, he starts now, going out and playing with his friends, and what kind of, fun they are having. So here it is mentioned, as soon as they grow up, they are given charge of the small baby cows, and they are given responsibility to look after them. And then they will go in the pastures, and then they will look after them. And while they are eating the grass, what the children did, they just played with each other. So here it says they played with their playmates while taking charge of the cows. Sometimes the two brothers played on their flute. My dear friends, look at this opulence that these children right at the beginning, they are given these musical instruments, flutes, and what kind of the growth, and then the and then the development of the children happens, when they are so naturally growing. in the company or or playing flutes. Uh, Such a wonderful life. And sometimes they played with Amalaka fruits and bell fruits, just as small children play with balls. So playing with balls, it is not a new things. The even in Krishna's times, they're playing with the balls, but their ball was the natural fruits. This bell fruit or Amalaka fruit. Sometimes they danced and made tinkling sounds with their ankle bells. Uh, so you can see that they were all playing. They were all wearing ankle bells. Uh, uh, Not Nike shoes or or those the modern things. Natural. The nice jewelry, ankle bells, and they danced. So they were so happy that they danced. Sometimes they made themselves into bulls and cows by covering themselves with blankets. By hearing this, I want to be in that playmate, playthings. That the children, they put blanket over them, and they act like a cows and bulls. And then it says there's Krishna and Balram play. The two brothers also used to imitate the sounds of bulls and cows and play like two bulls fighting. Uh, I don't know if anybody knows how to imitate the sound of bulls and cows. I don't want to try, but if sometimes after the class, you can go at the corner of the house and try to, make the sound of cows and bulls and see how fun it is. You can do that. And it says sometimes they used to imitate the sounds of various animals and birds. Uh, so see, what's such a wonderful, Vrindavan life. They are all close to the nature, birds and animals. They imitate the sound of birds and animals. In this way, they enjoyed their childhood pastimes apparently like ordinary mundane children. So this is the opulence of Vrindavan, how children are growing in Vrindavan. Uh, and after this particular description, now the 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 title of the chapter it is coming, in the topic here now. So once they were playing, now Krishna is, he has, hundreds and thousands of cows, baby cows around him. So one demon, he said, now, no, Krishna, sorry, Kamsa, he used to send, so many demons to kill Krishna. That was his, life's mission, to destroy Krishna. And it is said that actually every single day, Krishna will kill minimum one demon. Minimum. Sometimes even more. But not all demons are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Whereas Bhagavad will be just, the series of demons being killed. Shukdev Goswami just mentions, just here and there, some demons. So he says, even while Krishna was small baby, Kamsa, he sent one demon, and this demon, he said now because he know the track record of Krishna. Whoever came to kill Krishna, they were all destroyed. He says now Krishna is with the baby cows. So let me disguise myself with the baby cow as a baby baby calf. And then I will go close to Krishna and I'll attack him. And then this will be my plan or my strategy to destroy Krishna. So he assumed the form of a calf and he came, near to Krishna. But Krishna, even though he's a small baby, he's still supreme personality of Godhead. He immediately understood this is a demon acting like a baby calf. So he just informed, Balram, look, this demon has come. Balram said, yes, what to do. So then Krishna, he just goes near to this calf, Vatsasur, and he gets hold of his hind legs, the behind legs, the legs at the back, and he takes them and he just swirls around him, in the air. Then he throws him, in the sky, and then he falls on the tree, and the demon, falls dead. So for them, Krishna, a small baby, who is hardly able to speak, a small baby, but still is the supreme personality of Godhead. For him to kill this demon was, in fact, it was just a plaything. He was playing so many games with his friends, And and on the side, one of the action was to kill this demon. And the two also in a very nice way. Zoop, 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 zoop. And when all the boys would, oh Krishna, that was a demon, very good. Da, 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 da. They clapped and Krishna, and then they hug Krishna and says, see, our friend is so great, it's so, it was a wonderful game. See, you killed one demon just like a game, and then they were so happy. And so this is how, Krishna, he Krishna is God, and is all the time, every time he is God. He does not have to become God. He is God and will always eternally remain God. No matter in what age he is doing the pastime, he is always God. For him, killing the demon was just a game, just a a fun thing. And then comes the next is the another day, when another demon, he was sent by Kamsa. His name was Bakasur. This Bakasur, actually, he was the brother of Putana. Putana's another name is called Baki. Baki and Baka. These are brother and sister. So Bakasur, he was very angry with Krishna because he killed his sister. So he took the form of a heron, or in Indian language called bagla, white, bird which has long legs, and very pointed beak. But he became in a form of a very huge heron, and he appeared Krishna in front of Krishna and all the friends, and then all the boys were really scared. What kind of animal or bird is this? We had never seen this before. And while they were talking amongst themselves, this heron came and he just picked up Krishna and he swallowed him. And he was that big, he just swallowed Krishna. But Krishna, while he was in his neck, he's started feeling a very burning sensation. And he had to spit out Krishna. So, Krishna now, he spat out Krishna and Krishna was outside. And then he started, poking Krishna with his, beak, very pointed beak. But he was not successful. And finally, Krishna says, enough is enough, and he just, took his beak and, he sliced, like just sliced like this. Like here it is mentioned, just like a small children, they slice the grass. The Krishna just very effortlessly, he just sliced his two beaks, and that demon, fell on the ground dead. Again, Krishna very effortlessly, he killed this demon. So this way, Krishna, he would, protect his Vrajbasi devotees, his friends, gopis, all the time. Many calamities will come, and the Krishna will just deal with them, as it needed. And then, all the cowherd boys, the children, they went home, and they told the stories to their parents. Today you see, Krishna, he killed Bakasur. He spliced this like this. And then he says, other day, Krishna, he killed this Vatsasur, just by throwing him on the trees. And then everybody becomes so happy. Oh, Krishna is such a wonderful, he's protecting us so nicely. So with this, we'll come to our conclusion, and what lesson that we learned from this particular, killing of these demons. So the lesson we learn is that as long as we are in this material world, the difficulties will come. Material world means difficulty. Here, there is nothing, like eternal happiness here. Eternal happiness is always in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. There, there is no calamities. But here in material world, the difficulties will come. So when Vrajbasis, even they have difficulties. These demons, they come, they're trying to, harm Krishna. For them, that is the only calamity. They do not have any other calamity. If Krishna is, is in danger, then that is a calamity. So Krishna, he would just deal with them in a way that it is just a plaything. And sometimes the Vrajbasis not even get the news that how we kill so many demons. So the lesson that we learn is that when we are engaged in the devotion service of Krishna, then it is not that once you become devotee of Krishna, no calamities will come. Calamities or the dangers of this world, they are part and parcel of this world. It will come. But Krishna will give us the enough strength to deal with those calamities. Or Krishna, you won't even know that Krishna actually destroyed that difficulty without your even your knowledge. So for a devotee, the calamity, dealing with the calamities, it is a very insignificant part of their life. Of course, when difficulties come, you have to attend to it. But it does not take your entire existence to deal with these calamities. Okay, difficulties have come, and deal with it. You pray to Krishna, pray for his favor, you pray for his, intelligence and how do I deal with this. Do whatever it is required. But one thing we have to be sure that Krishna, just like how he dealt with all the calamities in Vrindavan, he will deal with this. He will deal it personally, or he will give you enough strength to deal with those calamities. So for devotees, the tending to calamities, it is not a great thing. Their only business in their life is that how can I please Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? If we are engaged in that particular mood and with that particular activity, calamities will just pass by, and many times you won't even know that it came and passed by. Just like those children, these big demons came, but it was a fun. Good, Krishna killed them. Very nice, very nice. They hugged, there is one paragraph especially dedicated to, they just came and celebrated killing of the demon, with Krishna. So this is the lesson that we learn, that the materialist, the non-devotees, they'll also face calamities, difficulties. Devotees also will face calamities and difficulties. But for devotees, it is fun. It is not even great thing. But the other, those who are not in devotional service, for them it becomes like the whole and soul, the purpose of their life, how to deal with problems, and then they're always engrossed with that. So this is the lesson we take it from them. 9:20 now, so we stop here. This is the conclusion of this chapter. If anybody has any questions or comment, you can ask now. If you have any realizations from this beautiful description of Vrindavan today, you can share that also.
What is this Amalaka fruit?
Amalaka fruit. Mataji, this is a fruit which grows in Vrindavan. It is little tangy or tangy. Maybe you go to Vrindavan, you can buy one from there.
Is it like amla? Is it like amla?
Just like that, Mataji. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so actually, I am on my devotees are left. Yeah. Okay, so if there is no questions or comments, I'm very grateful that you joined today. Hope this chapter and discussion was very helpful to you. And now we'll meet again tomorrow in the morning, same time, 8 o'clock. Now we'll discuss the.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Say Hari Bol. Our Gokul. Hari Bol. She's telling Hari Bol.
Very well.
Hare Bol.